Hello, this is Dread from Last Epic Builds, and today's video topic is going to be about Shield Rush Forge Guard. So FoE has been working on a concept for a Shield Rush build thanks to a lot of the recent changes with this patch and the last patch as well. As stun chance is a lot more viable now, you can actually stun mobs, and this allows you to play a Shield Rush build with a lot of stun, which allows you to stun the mobs after you've obviously hit them with Shield Rush, and you want to hit things as much as possible with Shield Rush, and that's why we go for the Echo version where it hits twice, so that it's hitting twice so that we have more chances to stun. Because if you did not know, chance to stun is based on how much damage you do to the mob, and if you hit like twice instead of just once, you'll have two of those chances instead of like one. So things that attack very fast is definitely the way you want to go. Now, for this version, he's going with the non-channeled version where you kind of like just spam it with your right click so that he kind of just like bounces around kind of like a pinball machine. You will have to turn off your sounds, otherwise you'll go insane with the pinball machine sounds. Sounds like a pachinko room. It's kind of funny. But so the reason why he's going Forge Guard is just because he just had a leveled Forge Guard laying around. This could probably do better as a Void Knight, but I'll be doing a much better version of this probably later on, a much more refined version. But the concept is still here, and it is absolutely amazing. And if you've ever wanted to play a Forge Guard build, well, here you go. Here's a Forge Guard build. So Forge Guard actually does kind of help a little bit. It has a lot of crit at the top of the tree, and since with this kind of build, you're kind of like focusing on the Paladin and the Void Knight trees, the upper half of the Forge Guard tree is kind of useless for you anyways, so it's actually a lot better because you just kind of ignore the upper half of the Forge Guard tree and just like focus on the other sides. It works in the end. But like I said, you could try something else. But you do get a lot of crit multi as a Forge Guard. So I think it's definitely worth going Forge Guard with this specific build. Now he is going dual wield because he wants a little bit more attack speed. Now there is an attack speed breakpoint, if that makes any sense. The faster attack speed you have, the less the bug will annoy you. So there's a bug with the instant mana return. The more attack speed you have, the less you have to deal with that bug. You'll understand it as you play the build, but it's really complicated, and I'll go over it in the skill tree as well. But with that being said, let's get into the skills, shall we? Here we are in game with the skills. So he's utilizing Shield Rush. So he takes 4 points into Warrior's Entrance for the increased final hit area. This is where all your area comes from. He takes 7 points into final hit damage. So he gets a bunch of more damage multipliers, allowing him to do a bunch of damage. 1 point into Echoes of the Charge. This is what makes it so the final hit strikes twice. This is what I was talking about with the stun. The more hits you do, the more chance to stun you have. Then 2 points into Stretch Time. There's a little bit of delay between hits because the stun duration lasts about like a second, so you want to have that delay to be long enough to like keep things stunned. Then 2 points travel into Consuming Path. 1 point into Dark Rush, so it no longer requires a shield, so you can dual wield. And then 2 point travel into Rush Mastery. 1 point into Desynchronous Charge, return to your starting position. Is a little bit annoying, I'll tell you how to deal with this later. 1 point into Mana Memory. The mana is restored when Shield Rush ends. That's why his mana is going up and down, up and down, up and down. Then 1 point into Rush of Sacrifice. So there's no cooldown, but it requires a health cost. So you do need a little bit of leech to make this work. And of course, as well, the mana will go up and down, up and down, up and down. And there is a breakpoint of attack speed that you need to reach so that this does not mess with you. Because there is a bug if you don't attack fast enough, you'll actually end up losing mana instead. Now we can talk about Sigils. 5 points into Empowering Sigils for increased damage. 1 point travel into Word of Alacerity. Then 5 points into Word of Power just to give you 150% increased damage for when you cast it recently. 2 points travel into Iron Sigils. 5 points into Enduring Hope. And then 1 point into Tetragram, so you have 4 Sigils instead of 3. Then for Reversal, 3 points into Time Sap. 1 point into Time Lost Vitality, 3 points into Catching Up, 1 point into Terminal Void Rift, 3 points Travel into Dark Expanse, and then 3 points into Harbinger of Dust so that he can deal 30% more damage to enemies that have been hit by the Void Rifts, and then 1 point into Incipient Void Rift so that he has 2 Void Rifts, 2 points into Traveler's Fatigue, and 2 points into Ancient Reversal. Now, the reason why he's going for Ancient Reversal with this version is because, if you did not know, after shield rushing with this node enabled, you will return to your starting position. So you can hold down the button and move all the way to the end of the map, and then it will teleport you back. But thanks to Reversal, it will bring you back to where you were, which will pretty much make up for the downside of this node. So you can actually farm Monoliths very fast with this node, with this build. Now for Lunge, it's your stereotypical Lunge setup. 3 points travel into the Fray, 1 point into Double Strike, so you have 2 charges, 3 points into Tactician for cooldown and mana efficiency, 3 points travel into Forge On, 1 point into Unstoppable, so you're invincible while lunging, very strong. 1 point into Initiative for increased damage, increased crit. 5 points into Avenger's Charge for even more crit. 1 point into Brigand because, 1 point into Brigand because your points don't matter. 2 points into Overwhelm because your points don't matter for the rest of the lunge tree. Mostly, you just want all this. And then for Devouring Orb, he is utilizing the 60% increased damage after you cast Devouring Orb recently, idle, so that's why he's using Devouring Orb for just some quick damage. 6 points into Void Adept for while you get 60% increased damage while it's up. 5 points into Abyssal Juggernaut so you don't have to build into Void Res at all in your gear. 1 point into Hollow Orb so they last longer. 1 point into Dark Moon so that you can make it orbit around you so it stays as a buff. 2 points into Abyssal Rush so you have increased movement speed while Devouring Orb is active. 1 point into Cosmic Impact, and then 4 points travel into 4 points into Sightless Star, so you have more cast speed and mana efficiency with the Devouring Orb. And that's pretty much it for the skills. Alright, we have the passive tree here. 5 points into Overwhelm for Melee Fizz. 4 points into Juggernaut for more strength because that's increased damage for Shield Rush. 5 points into Armor Clad so you take less damage from nearby enemies. 10 points into increased damage. 1 point into Gladiator for attack for dual wielding, and then 2 points into Blade Dancer because he doesn't need that much attack speed, only just enough to meet those breakpoints so the bug doesn't mess with you. And the reason why he's ignoring the HP here and he's ignoring HP overall is 3k HP is enough, and if you have too much HP, your Shield Rush will start consuming a lot more than what you can leech back because it'll consume 15% of your life back. So the more HP you have, it's actually the worse the Shield Rush degen gets. So 3,000 is a good number, he found. Then for Void Knight, 3 points into Abyssal Endurance to cap his Fizz Res, 5 points into Temporal Corruption for some flat, 8 points into World Eater for Leech, 8 points into Void Blades for more damage, and then 1 point into Void Corruption for crit multi, all the crit multi you can get. Then for Paladin here, 8 points into Conviction because he is doing a little bit of Fizz damage, so the Fizz pen helps. 2 points Travel into Defiance, 5 points into Health so that he can travel, so he can get up to Sigils of Hope. Then for Forge Guard, 8 points into the damage here. You want as much strength as possible for the increased damage. 2 points into Battle Hardened for travel. 10 points into Guardian for travel and HP and increased stun chance because you want as much stun chance as possible. 6 points into Crushing Blows because Shield Rush actually costs a lot of mana, so this gives you a lot of increased damage. 6 points into Might for increased health and strength. 8 points into Duelist for crit. And then 6 points into Lethal Strikes for Melee Critical Strike Multiplier. And like I said, this is a very unrefined version of the build. We'll be refining it more and probably have that out soon. But if you guys just want to have fun with Shield Rush, this is the build for you. Now let's get into the gearing, shall we? Alright, and here we are with the gear planner. So for his idols, health, and increased damage if you cast Devouring Orb recently is a very strong pairing. That's why he's running Devouring Orb, is just for as much increased damage as possible. Then for his helmet, he went for +2 to Vengeance for the increased melee damage. This is actually the most melee damage you can get with an affix on your helmet. Increased melee Fizz while wielding a sword, so for more flat health and health. Then for his amulet, crit, Fizz damage, res. Weapon is base crit on both of his weapons because he wants as much crit as possible. So he's always critting because the more damage he's doing, the more stun chances he has. So he never wants to not stun something. So he always wants to crit. And usually, you crit, you stun a lot more when you're critting because you're dealing a lot more damage. Crit multi, frailty, stun chance, crit multi, base crit, armor shred, and stun chance. For the chest, you want +2 to shield rush, and then melee flat, health and health. Then for the ring, crit, health, endurance, strength, crit, health, endurance, strength. Then for the belt, you want a little bit of dodge because it just gives you like 10% dodge. It's what else are you gonna put there, right? Increased physical damage for increased damage, health and health. For the gloves, endurance percentage, you want the attack speed, the strength, the health and health. Then for the boots, strength, movement speed, crit strike avoidance, health. And for the relic, you want some more leech on top of all the other leech you have for increased damage, leech's health. Then crit multi, increased fizz, and more health. As you can tell, just stacking as much health as possible. Then for blessings, crit multi, mana, leech, fizz shred, and endurance. So he's capped on endurance as well, the percentage. So his endurance, he's taking advantage of that. And that's pretty much it for the gearing. This is a build in progress. We are still working on better versions of this. There's probably a better version as a Void Knight, but I will need to go and play it. But for now, this is the fun version. With that being said, thank you all for watching and enjoy the gameplay.